Hi there. I'm going to show you how to use Playit to make an SSH server public. So this is assuming that you already have SSH installed on one of your servers. So I have the server on my local network, which is at this IP address, and I can go ahead and log in from any other computer on my network. And that works great. But what I want to do is I want to make the server public so that if I'm traveling, if I'm away from home, I can still log in and access my server. Now, Playit provides an alternative to port forwarding. What we're going to do is we're going to create a tunnel for the SSH server, and then we're going to lock it down with firewall roles so that only I have access to it. So, I might have password or public key authentication, but I'll also lock it down further with firewalls. Cool, so let's get started. So on this server, I've already installed Playit. But if you haven't, you can go ahead to the download page and just run the script. If you're not running a Debian-based system, you can go ahead and download the program. I'll show you how to do that. So you can copy the link of whatever version you need. If you're running a Raspberry Pi, it might be one of these. Otherwise, x86 should work. And you can run wget, paste that, chmod it so that it's executable, and then you can run it. But I already have Playit installed with apt, so I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to type Playit, and that should launch the Playit program. Great, so now I'm prompted with this URL, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight it, and then on Windows I can right click to copy. I'm going to go ahead and open that up in a new tab. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and allow it to connect to my account. And if we look here, we should see that the Playit program is now listed. We'll give this a moment to connect. Okay, now I'm going to refresh the page, and yes, it says it's connected. So I'm going to go ahead and make this assignable. And what that lets us do, let's just give it a name for one. So I'm going to call this Linux Home Server. Press Save. And the cool thing about this is now that it's assignable, I can create tunnels and map it to that agent. So I have multiple servers, I can run multiple Playit agents, and I can say what tunnel redirects to what agent. It might be a little bit complicated, but if you start using Playit, you might find that very useful. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new tunnel. This is going to be a custom tunnel. The local port is going to be 22, which is the default port for SSH. I'm going to say next, and it's going to be a TCP tunnel. Wonderful. So I'm going to call this SSH. And then I'm going to go down here to the agent details. And it's not going to be default. It's going to be that new assignable agent that we created. So Linux Home Server, and I'll press Save. Awesome. Now, if I open up a new command line, I should be able to SSH using the address that Playit has given me. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that there. And then a -P to specify the port. And I'm going to go to use the assigned port. Awesome, so I'm able to connect. And I should be able to use this address from anywhere in the world and be able to connect to my, through SSH to my server running in my house. Now, that might be a good or bad thing, but also anyone else can try to connect. So what we're going to do now is create a firewall to make it so that I can set which IPs are allowed to connect. So I'm going to say SSH, or let's see, only my IP, make it easy. So I'm going to basically write some code here. What this is saying is it's saying every IPv4 address, go ahead and deny that, and every IPv6 address, go ahead and also deny that. So I'm going to go ahead and add that firewall, and then on my tunnel, I'm going to go here and I'm going to set it to be that firewall. Now, if I try connecting again, it doesn't work. That's because I am blocking all networks from being able to connect. So earlier I set up 2 cloud servers, and I named them delete me good server and delete me bad server. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so only the good server can connect. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the IPv4 of the good server, and we go to our firewall. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to paste that address, do a -32, which means match the entire IP address. Say allow. I'm also going to do that for the IPv6. 64. I'm going to go ahead and say allow. And then, yeah, let's go and save that. Before I should have saved, I should have showed that it would not allow me to connect, but we'll go ahead and connect, and then we'll go ahead and remove that rule. Okay, so if we now try to connect, it works. And if we try to connect on the bad server, there we are. Oh, that works too. That's not right. Oh, you know what? Let's look at our address. I think these might be on the same network. IPv6. Let's see. Yes, they are. Okay. So I allowed IPv6 to go through. So let's go ahead and block that. Now, if I try to connect, it should fail. Okay, yes, it's just hanging now. Great, so we're going to go ahead and use the IPv4 to try connect. So go here to our tunnel. You can copy the IPv4 address. So it's Pelorio at the address, port 14073. Cool, so we're able to connect. If we go to the bad server, we will not be able to connect. Bad server can't. Good server can. So how I like to use this for my own network is basically I have my firewall always locked down. So it's basically like that. And if I'm away from the house, I log into the Play It website, I look up my IP address, I go ahead and add it, and then I have access to it. And I do that for a variety of different services, not just SSH. Cool. Now, right now, the IPv6 addresses, we're only able to filter to the /64. So IPv6 addresses are 128 bits, so only match half that. And because of the way the hosting provider works, they don't assign you a full /64. So, or they might assign the account a /64, in which case it'd be fine to do, but most of the time, if you're on a residential internet connection, the /64 will be assigned to the entire house. I will be updating this to allow larger IPv6 roles, but for now, it looks like to be comfortable, I would just use the IPv4 in my case. Wonderful. So let's go ahead and double check this again. So bad server cannot connect. Good server, where are you, good server? It's my home. So my home server cannot, or this local machine cannot connect. I think this might be it. Yeah, so this is good server. And good server can still connect. Now let's show what happens if we remove the IP. So let's say I'm no longer at the location. Press save. And if we try to connect now, it doesn't work. Then we can make it work. Having fun now. Takes a little bit of time for the rules to update, so I'll give it a second here. Yep, and then we can connect again. Cool. So that's how to set up a SSH tunnel using Play It, and then add firewall roles to make sure that only you can connect. Thanks for watching.